Hey Amanda, this is Josh. Yeah, hey, have you done your work yet for the project? It's due tomorrow. You told Mikey to do it, but why? You had to do like barely anything. Hey Mikey. Yeah, it's me, of course. See, Amanda told me she told you to do her work. How's that coming along? You told Eddie to do both of you. Hey Eddie, this is Josh. Hey, what's up, man? Mikey tells me that he gave you his work and Amanda's work to do. How's that coming along? You gave it to Travis. Of all people, you gave it to Travis? What is wrong with you? Travis, hey man. So you are doing everyone's work, right? I mean, I've already done my little bit. Have you done everyone else's? Because everyone seems to be relying on you. You haven't done anything. Dude, the thing is, this thing is due tomorrow. Seriously, what the hell are we gonna do? What, you want me to do the rest of it? Alright, you know what? Alright, screw it. Alright, fine. I'll do it tomorrow morning when I get up. Alright, see you later. Bye. Why do we have an advisory center?
Well, the advising center is here to basically support all undergraduate students, which means anyone who's about to come to SF State and right before you graduate from San Francisco State. We help people figure out the best classes to take when, all the general education requirements, things like that, and the best way to apply to graduate, when to do that, and just make sure everything's done so that you're not surprised at the end, when you're actually trying to graduate.
How do we get an advisor?
How to get an advisor? Well, to add to that question, I mean, there's more than one type of advisor actually. For us, we're just undergraduate advisors. We pretty much do everything for general ed, graduation requirements, but when it comes to major stuff, that's when we generally, refer people to their departments. So if you're declared either cinema or broadcast or any other major, we tell them to go to the major department because they check on major requirements, which is a different piece of the pie from the regular advising general ed component. But for us, all you gotta do is just come in, make an appointment. We have different types of ways you can see us. One is drop-in, that's the easiest. Between 10 and 3 o'clock we have drop-ins every day. Just come in, quick questions, 5 minutes tops. If you want more than that, then you can make a half-an-hour appointment or a full-hour appointment for various things based on how much you need. General graduation check takes about maybe 5 or 10 minutes depending on how much documentation you actually bring with you, if you bring it. But then there's other issues that may happen. You know, being a big university, any number of crazy things will happen, you know, bureaucracy-wise, and we help students get through all that, and, you know, little errors here, mistakes on administrators' part or students' part. We can navigate through that, and that might take hours, you know, or even probation appointments if your GPA drops below 2.0, and you get kicked out of your major. Then we have to handle you and make sure we get you back on track and, you know, get back in a good standing.
What kind of questions do you usually get at the advising center?
Is it usually just like what kind of class should I take, or?
Okay, from the most simplest is, you know, the general freshman first semester at state. They went to orientation already.
Right.
But of course, that was so crazy. I don't know how many of you already been to orientation. I'm pretty sure everyone in class has been to orientation because that's how we advertised this class in the first place, the TLC. But most commonly is like, okay, so much was going on during orientation. I don't remember what was going on. I don't know how to pick my classes for second semester. So I see a lot of freshmen come back for that, you know, for that refresher for spring semester. The most common question is, what should I take? Which is pretty easy because you only have one semester under your belt, so I can figure out really easily, okay, well, this is what you've done. Planning, you know, that you finish all these classes, this is what you should take in spring. And that's pretty easy. But there's different times in your academic career where you actually should see an advisor. Orientations first, which probably have already been done. Maybe the first semester to kind of help plan for that second. Then I would say once you become a junior, it's very important to see us again to make sure that you're doing the upper division requirements correctly. You know, you're starting to get into your major if you haven't already. There's other issues like, you know, JAPIT tests, which, you know, J stands for junior. So a lot of students just forget about that because the last time they heard it was orientation 2 years ago. You know, and also right before you graduate, which is another point, critical point of getting advising from at least us, you know, from our standpoint. Okay, now for like transfer students, I know you guys really aren't transfer students, but they have a whole different set of questions. You know, usually it's, you know, what should I start with my major, which is mostly major department questions. How soon can I graduate? Because now they've seen the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, they want to really get focused. You know, you might spend several years just putzing around as freshmen, sophomores for like up to 4 or 5 years, you know, and then all of a sudden you get serious about it. And then we also talk about, you know, pathways to grad school and, you know, beyond, stuff like that. But I think the number one problem I see with all students is the fact that they really don't know why they're in college.
Because mommy and daddy told them.
Yeah, my dad said, well, first of all, we're paying for it, so you're going. And as long as you do good, we're still paying for it. The other issue is that society itself almost makes that necessary next step after high school. And so a lot of people say, well, I just have to go because that's what everyone's expecting anyway. And then, of course, the second question is, what major do I pick? And people think they're locked into that major, thinking, oh, well, this is going to be what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. You know, and then if it was something I was going to do the rest of my life, I really don't know if this is the right major for me. So it always brings out this circular argument, and students cannot decide really what they want. Even if they did decide, a lot of times they don't know what to do with it after they graduate. So one of the number one questions I ask them is, what are you planning on doing with that after you graduate? I'll say 9 times out of 10 I get, I don't know, never thought of that. But it's the college experience you want. Don't just worry about academics, even though I know parents want to know that you're doing good. You know, advisors, academians, the teachers, professors, they want to know that you're doing good, you know, good in classes. But once you graduate, you know, the employers you guys will be asking for jobs aren't going to ask you for your GPA. They're not going to ask you how long it took. You know, and you're not going to ever have another undergraduate experience again. So use it for all it's worth, you know, while you're still here. But the number one thing I would say to students, my favorite quote that I made, the most important thing to learn in college is what college can't teach you.
Chop, chop, crackle, hook, line. This is paid for advertising. Hook, line, free food for all.
Well, it's a tangible death, and I can almost handle it. When it cancels my breath, put your hand over my candle, then rest. There's no pain in